Hi guys, good morning or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from today. Thank you for joining us this morning. This morning I'm going to make a lion. I thought since the cat one that we did originally was quite popular, it's a similar kind of thing, but we'll give it a mane and we'll change it a little bit and make it into a lion. Now I didn't make a full one earlier because I didn't get time. It was quite a late night last night and I struggled to get up this morning, so I didn't get time to make one in advance for you guys. But I just very quickly, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with the eyes, so I very quickly did some little heads. And I mean very, very quickly, so that they're not very neat at all. It was just so I could have a bit of a play around in advance of the video before deciding what we're going to do with the faces. Now, for this one, I'm using the Saracino modelling paste. Now, I used a mix of colours. So you can either use these three colours mixed together, but a small amount of yellow, not like this much. A bit of brown, and then the bulk of it was actually this pale skin tone one that's in there to give us that colour. But if you haven't got all those colours to hand, because it's just if you've got those colours that you can mix those together, or a honey gold is quite nice as well. So if you've got like a white modelling paste and you want to mix a bit of honey gold in for this, then that's fine. Or you might want to go more yellow or more orange or even more brown with your lion. Whatever you fancy is absolutely fine. Okay, so just I don't know how much I've got here altogether, but I'll wait out as we're going along. I'll just need to give it a bit more of a need. I've got a little bit of pink for the nose, and then I've got some sugar pearls for the eyes. These have got chocolate in the middle. These
what size sugar pearls have you got today?
10 mil. I just couldn't decide what colour, because when I was looking at pictures of lions online, they kind of had like orangey yellowy eyes on the ones that I saw pictures of. But I thought it might look a bit weird, so that's why I stuck the pearls in first to see what they were going to look like. And sometimes, you know, if I'm in more of a rush, I'll just stick the black pearls in, because then I don't have to do anything else with them, whereas the coloured ones I have to draw black into them. I actually don't mind the yellow one. The orange one I don't like. I don't think that looks right at all. But like I say, you can see I didn't spend long on these. They were just really, really quick ones, just so that I would get a very rough idea of what it was going to look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our body. So I don't need huge amounts. I'm going to weigh this in a second for you. Just put that over there. Now, usually I'll roll a very rough shape first. I'm gonna try and make it a similar size, I think, to my tiger. So
do you want to bring your tiger into show to show people?
My white tiger.
And if you bring in your cat as well, so I can see what your cat is, because they're similar.
Because they're all made the same way, these ones, yeah. Just the odd little tweak. So we've got, we've done previous videos on both of those. I know some of you guys have already watched those, but if you haven't, we do have those. I think are they on YouTube now and on our Facebook page to watch, so you can watch them back at any time.
I'm not sure. I think we're a little bit behind getting things onto YouTube at the moment.
Yeah, we do try and put them all on YouTube, but it takes us a little while. So some of them are on there, some of them aren't, but they are all going to be going on there. Let's see how much I've got. About 94, so I've got quite a bit in there. So you don't have to make it as big as me. So that was 94 grams.
I think so far people are liking the yellow eyes the most.
Yeah, I think that's my preferred one. I mean, like the green ones like that I put in this cat look quite nice, but they didn't look green on the photos of actual lions. But then I guess it's not realistic at all anyway, is it, this way? It doesn't really matter. You could do them any colour.
And we're adding a mane to one of these as well?
Yes. So yeah, it was only because these were just so that I could see the eye colours, so I didn't want to spend long on these. Also, I didn't have long because I did these 10 minutes before we came online. Okay, so I'm just trying to roll out my creases and cracks first. If you get some in and they're really not coming out, and you've tried putting lots of pressure on to get rid of them, just pop them to the bottom because we're not going to see them if they're underneath. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of rolling it between my hands and putting more pressure on my hands at the top and the bottom so that we get more of a kind of cone shape. Okay. Height-wise, it's up to you how tall you want to go. I've gone, it's about 6.5 centimetres that. 6.5 centimetres. You probably didn't hear me say that because Richard's moving around the chairs. What are you doing, Richard?
Moving this camera.
Okay. So yeah, about 6.5 centimetres tall. But like I say, it doesn't matter if yours is shorter or taller. It probably will squash down a little bit anyway. So we're going to put the marks in for the backs of the legs. So about halfway up, using the back of my Dresden tool, we're going to push a line in here. Okay. And then I'll just stab it with my finger. Just go over it gently to kind of rub the bit above down a tiny bit. Then we'll do the same on the other side, or similar on the other side. Usually it doesn't end up the same. I'd love to say it's always the same, but it's not. We end up with one bigger all the time. Okay, so can you see it's not gone all the way to the back, just part way here. So just smoothing above it down. Just checking from the front, it looks about even.
We'll go on the other camera, let's have a bit of a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Sure.
And I could have even gone further in actually with that, because this one's going to have really chunky front legs. I might even put a gap between the front legs. So usually I just put one line between the middle and we get our two front legs. But because I've left this bit quite chunky, I should have really brought the sort of hip bits or the thighs, whatever part of the leg it is, in a little bit further to make this thinner, but it's fine. So what I'll do is I'll put two lines on the front instead. And what we'll do is we'll push the middle bit down a little bit deeper. I'm going to go in there with my finger. It's going to be easier, I think.
Got a lot of people from all over the world again.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us.
A lot of regulars too.
Oh, that's nice to
A
hear.
couple of people asking how your hay fever is.
It's still bad. I forgot to take my tablet this morning. Although it's not as bad this morning as it has been on other days. There we go. Can you see we've got that little gap down the middle? It's always really bad in the morning is my hay fever, and then like at night time during the middle of the day it's not as bad.
You're on top down at the moment.
Okay, cool. So we've got a bit of a gap. So can you see on these ones, I just put a single, I know it's difficult to see, I just put a single line in the middle because my legs were a little bit smaller, but I think my front legs look like they were going to be just a little bit chunky, so that's why I've not just put a single line, but like a big indentation down the centre. Okay. So just check you've not put too many indentations in the back from your fingers, because it does happen a lot. Or fingernail marks. It's quite often what I get in mine. Okay. Then I'm going to put some little feet on the front. So get a bit more of this colour. Should they have quite big feet? I think they probably have quite big feet, don't they? Lions.
Yeah, I think big feet make it look a bit cute.
This is probably going to be a bit too big though. Yeah, that's a bit too big. Let's go for about this size. Let's see how much we've got here. 3.2. Don't worry if it's not exact to this, guys. It doesn't matter. 2.5. Okay, I'll put a little bit more in that one. 3.1. Close enough. Close enough that I'm happy that they're both similar. In fact, I'm going to need another 2 anyway for his back legs too. So we'll try and go similar again. It's nowhere near the same. What did I say it was? 3 point something?
About 3.2 from memory. That's testing me if I pay attention.
3.21 in that one. These are going to be massive. It's going to have big, big feet, these.
Just looking at your comments if you've got any questions.
Did any of you guys watch The Bride and Groom last night?
Yeah,
Or the wedding couples that we
I'm
made last
recognising
night?
I'm recognising a few names from seeing that one last night.
You'll be fed up of watching me or listening to me.
How can anybody be fed up of watching you, Zoe?
Richard has to say that because he lives with me and he knows he'll get into trouble if he says anything other than that. Okay, so we've got our 4 balls. I'm going to roll them slightly so they're a little bit more oval rather than round. Just a little bit, not too much, because they're going to squash a bit when we put them on. And then we're going to put some water on the front. So I just use water rather than glue for mine. So a bit of water on here and on here. And let's push these on in place.
They keep your hands there because you're both cameras at the moment.
So on the front of each leg, like that. Okay. Just make sure it's pressed firmly. You can use edible glue if you prefer rather than water. Go with whichever you're sort of most used to. Then we'll just put some lines at the middle for each paw. Or not the middle, but 2 lines, sorry. So I'm just using the pointy ridge of my Dresden tool again. I'll maybe just bring that up there a tiny bit.
You told you have a very relaxing voice.
People do watch videos and they say when they go to bed, I know it's that I have a boring voice that sends people to sleep. I'm aware. People comment on my YouTube video to tell me that I send them to sleep all the time. Okay, so.
See, I'm not saying anything.
2 lines on the front of each one. It wouldn't send you to sleep when you hear me screaming and shouting.
You never do.
I have a real short temper, so I shout quite a lot. Usually at poor Richard.
Is that due to the
Because
colour?
he's the only one around.
Is that due to the colour of your hair?
I've no idea. No, I don't think so, because my brother's got a temper like me and he hasn't got ginger hair. There we go. So we've got 4 paws on there. I was thinking we might do something on the chest, but actually when I put the head on and we put the mane on, it's going to cover quite a lot of the chest, so I'm not going to put detail on. So on like the cat and the tiger, we added like a teardrop on the front, so...
Towards you.
Richard?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Perfect.
Yeah, it's like a teardrop that we flattened and put hairlines in, but I'm not going to worry about that on the tiger at the moment. I am going to take my ring off because I keep catching it again. And my hands must be warm today because I can't get it off. There we go, ring off. Okay, so that's our basic body, so nice and quick. We didn't spend too long on that. If you want to put any hair on there anyway, if you want to make it look a bit fluffier, you know, just put a couple of lines in here and there. I don't know that it actually really needs it, this one. I'll just put those in there. Yeah, I think it looked alright without, to be honest.
How many of you people watching this have seen some of Zoe's lion face cake tutorials? 'Cause you have a couple of lion face cakes, don't you, as well?
Yeah, we've got a cartoony one. That was like there was supposed to be Lion King ones,
Yeah, you
weren't
did
they?
Simba's the original sort of Disney cartoon.
Yeah, so a cartoon
the,
one and then a more realistic lion, which doesn't really look the same as the one from the new Lion King.
It looks like a lion now.
Yeah, it looks like a lion, but it was supposed to be the one from the Lion King. It just doesn't quite look exactly the same.
Yeah, I thought your Disney one was nice.
Thank you, Richard.
I like your face cakes.
So I'm just going to take a little skewer and push it through the middle. Okay, but I'll turn it around that way, then I've got the point at the top. Depending on the height of your skewer, you might need to cut it down. We'll see, but we'll leave it in like that for now. You can use a cocktail stick, or you can even use spaghetti, but the cocktail stick, can you see, it's not going to stick out very high or much taller than my body, so I need like a decent amount on there to balance the head onto. Let's move that to one side while we work out a size for our head. In fact, you know what? I could just see if any of these are the right size, couldn't I? Because
then we're done. We finished early.
yeah, if one of these fits, then I could just go for a similar size. That's not bad size-wise. It's pretty big. I think this one would be too small. Yeah, that one would be too small. Yeah, they're actually not bad size-wise. Let's measure how much one of these weighs, and then I've got a rough idea. Probably this weighs a tiny bit more because it's got ears and everything on. 73, so I'll maybe go for about 70 grams-ish. So... I don't know why I'm doing this such a small piece at a time. Did I say about 70? I did, didn't I?
Yeah. So I'm paying attention now.
I'm on go slow mode this morning. I really am tired today. Okay. So let's get this kneaded. What are you laughing at, Richard?
Yeah, Crystal, I don't think that's happening today because I look a little bit rough.
He looks the same as he does every day.
Crystal has asked that she hears my voice but doesn't know what I look like. Can I come on camera?
I'd move this one to show you, but I won't get it back in the right place.
We'll never know.
Okay, so I'm just kneading this. The fly's back.
I know. Bloody.
Can you guys hear? Richard trapped a fly in here last night and we tried to get rid of it and we couldn't. And I thought it had gone this morning and now it's just appeared again.
No.
We have a little fly trap thing as well. It doesn't want to go in it.
No, it doesn't need to catch anything. Can you just remind people what paste are you using today?
I'm using the Saracino.
So let's bring it into shot.
Yeah, this is actually a mix. I realise you guys don't have to really use all these colours, but because I had all these colours open, these are the colours I used. So brown, and then I lightened it with this pale skin tone one. Then I added a bit of yellow. So I just added a small amount of yellow at a time until I got the colour that I wanted. But if you've got white modelling paste and you want to mix in actual colour, then the honey gold one's quite a nice colour to use for the lions. Yeah, that's
Cool.
I was going to use that one, but because I had all those other colours open, I thought I'll just use those colours up first.
And thank everybody. Thank you for all your stars.
Oh, thanks for the stars, guys. We do appreciate the stars.
Zoe can't see these when they come in.
No, I don't see them when they come in. I can't see the screen at all, so I can't see your comments. So I have to rely on Richard telling me when you guys post stuff. So
I think that doesn't look anything up.
is everybody still there? Hopefully we're still online. I didn't realise we could get calls on the iPad.
Yeah, I think he's hooked it to my phone.
Oh, okay. If your hands are hot and it gets a bit sticky, just put a little bit of corn flour on the surface of your hands to stop the paste sticking to you, okay? Or that's what I use for the Saracino. If it's a different paste and it's one that dries out a lot, use a bit of shortening mixed in with it rather than corn flour. Okay, so I want to put in the nose first. So what I'm going to do is try and kind of mark a little kind of curve there. So I think that's where I want the nose to be. So it's quite near the bottom. And then I'm going to try and pull it. I'm kind of using the side of my finger to pull it down. It's up to you whether you want a big nose or a small nose as well. So can you see it just comes out a little bit from the side?
That's good. Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, Sue. My mum never joins in to
I
watch,
know,
does
my
she?
mum's a regular now.
I
think it's to make sure.
I don't think my mum can work out how you even get on Facebook, to be honest.
I think it's the only way that Mum checks up that I'm actually still here because I'm not very good with texting.
Okay, so we've pulled the nose out a little bit. Like I say, if you want it longer, just keep pulling. I don't want it too long. It sometimes loses its cuteness when you make it really long. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push kind of just slightly above there and to the sides with my fingers for my little eye sockets. Okay, and then I'm going to just bear in mind that when you do press, you will flatten the back of the head a little bit. I'm just going to just check the size compared to my body.
Bear with me a second. I'm just going to bring it in. That's it. Bring him in a little bit towards the camera. There you go. There, that's it.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
about all right. About. I'm going to bring his nose a tiny bit further down. And then I'm going to put these
Just to recap,
eye sockets in a bit more, so it brings out kind of the bridge of the nose here.
Zoe will be adding a mane to one of these, so they're not all going to be lionesses. We will have a lion.
Yeah, it's going to get a mane.
We're going to have Leon the lion.
These ones were just because I was trying out the eye colours, so it literally spent seconds working on those heads, whereas this one I want to spend longer on. Okay, so can you see how my eye sockets are going in here? And then they've left like a bridge towards the nose. And I'm just narrowing the head a little bit up here so that it's not completely rounded. Yeah, if you want it to have chubbier cheeks, you can even kind of press in a bit more there, and it should bring out this bit a little bit. I won't do it a lot, but just a little bit. Hang on, let me press in there and there. I don't know if this starts showing up. I'm just smoothing it off up here. Can you guys see this bit here? It's starting to stick out a bit more. Okay. So I could play with this for ages. I just like feeling the paste and stroking it, and it's nice and smooth.
Zoe's one of those people that whenever we go into any shop, she can't help herself but touch everything in the shop.
I like the feel of things.
I know. Especially when you go to furniture shops, you start touching all the weird little smoothnesses and things.
The textures, Richard.
Textures, that's the one.
Richard hates the feel of anything.
No, I don't. It's just...
Textures freak him out.
I remember when we first started dating, you had the worst
The worst what?
cushions.
Bath mat.
And yeah, they were
You
really
won't stand
weird.
on the bath mat. People don't want to know about when we first started dating, Richard, and your weird phobias of every different texture. Okay, so I've just put a bit of corn flour down because it was starting to stick. Now, it has got a flat head at the back, but we'll hopefully sort that out with a bit of a mane. And to be honest, again, I know it makes me sound lazy, but I really don't mind if they've got a fairly flat head at the back for these kind of cartoony things. Okay, so I'm going to use the wide end of my Dresden tool, and where it feels flatter rather than rounder, I'm going to push it about halfway up this nose area. Okay, so can you see it leaves me with a sad face at first. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make round and down a little bit. And then we're going to draw this line kind of round, and I'm going to bring it up the side of the nose. Okay. If you get jaggedy lines, just run over it with your finger if you can. Or if you can't get your finger in there, just use like a little tool that's a bit softer and a bit smaller, because I realise everyone's got different sized fingers, and also the fingernails sometimes get in the way. If I want it to look a bit happier, what I'm going to do is just press a little bit in there, so it gives me a little dip. Yeah, so it makes it look like a smile that's kind of coming up and around. Well, it looks a tiny bit like a smile.
Just space for his big teeth.
He's not having teeth this one because he's got his mouth closed.
Okay.
I don't think you see their teeth, do you, unless they've got the mouth open.
We've got a happy looking lion, haven't we?
Okay.
Or a happy looking cute lion.
Yeah, we're aiming for cute. It could have a scar like my crocodile, couldn't it?
The one that was given by mistake.
Yeah. Did you guys see my crocodile / dragon? I caught I can't remember, I cut a tool on my fingernail across his face. So I decided the best thing to do was to actually make it look like it was there on purpose and make it look like a scar up on his nose. Have you even got that in shot?
Yeah, I can see it coming.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you could have a little scar somewhere. Okay, so the chin bit, I'm just going to try and roll this in a little bit either side. So I'm trying not to catch this top bit too much. And again, you can use your finger. You don't have to use this tool that I've got. This is just a Seurat K206. They do them in different sizes. Well, they come in a pack of 3. I think quite a lot of you guys have got these now. A lot of you guys have been buying them from me, so I presume a lot of you have got them. It's just quite nice to use where I can't get my fingers in.
Or they're buying them from somewhere else, which is not allowed.
Okay.
Zoe's shaking her head now.
So, I'm shaking my head at you.
I know, quite a lot.
Putting some lines in for the chin, so the chin looks a little bit hairier. Let's nudge it up a bit here. Okay, just so his chin looks a little bit hairier, I think. And then we want his nose, because that makes a massive difference. I'm going to go for pink, and then we might change it up a little bit. I was torn between pink or brown, but I think I'm going to go pink. Size-wise, it's up to you whether you want smaller or bigger. I tried doing these ones all slightly different size-wise to see what looked best. I actually think the middle one looks, the medium-sized one looks.
It looks like it's got a bit more shape as well.
Well, it has. I did shape that one a little bit more. So with this one, if you roll yourself a small piece first and just hold it against the nose so you can see what it looks like. Bearing in mind, it's probably going to stretch out a bit more, so it'll be about that size. No, do you know what? I think I'm happy with that size. I'll try and weigh it, but I'm not sure if there's enough here to actually weigh. No, there is 0.23 grams. But don't worry, honestly, if yours isn't the same.
We do get asked a lot, where do we sell these scales? Literally, they're a brand called AccuWeight.
They were just on Amazon, right?
Yeah, I think that they're not hugely expensive from memory.
No, I don't think we paid very much. We bought a load of them because we needed them for class.
Yeah.
That we had running. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the end of the nose. So can you see I've rolled it out? And it's kind of thinner on either end by a tiny bit. And what I want to do is try and press it in the middle and then pull the edges upwards and then almost back down on themselves a little bit. Looks much bigger now I've got it on, doesn't it? It what, Richard?
It does look a little bit bigger. Also, seen a few comments regarding
all over me.
watching the videos back. Once it's live, it'll be available to watch back on our Facebook page. We will also be getting all these uploaded onto our YouTube channel in due course. We're a little bit behind with getting them onto YouTube, but they will be going there as well.
Okay, I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Do you know what? I might do a bit of dusting on this guy.
What colour dust we're going to use?
I'm gonna use a white. Oh, I forgot to
What?
get some kitchen roll.
No.
So the dusts make a bit of a mess of your boards, you see. So if you've got like some paper towel or something that you can put down, it is a little bit better. So I'm just gonna get Richard to get me my paper towel. Richard, one of those hand wipe things on the top would have been absolutely fine. He's just opening new packets of kitchen roll. But yeah, we have like paper towel things for drying your hands on, so this will do the job. It's just to stop getting the powder everywhere. Now, I think I might actually have my brush that I love. I think I didn't wash it after last night's Facebook Live. So I'm just going to try and rub the colour out, because if I wet it to wash it properly, it's going to be no good for dusting with. Brushes, washing your brushes, just wash them with like washing up liquid in a bit of water. It can take a while to get the colour out of the the bristles. And sometimes, you know, if you've got a pot of corn flour, you can kind of just dab it in the corn flour, and the corn flour kind of goes in and mixes with all the powdered colour and then sort of brings it back out. My white here looks a bit pink. I definitely must have done something with this because it looks a bit pink, does this white. But yeah, white dust. So on your brush, and then dab all the extra off because it drops on everything. And then I'm just going to try and get a little bit on the chin. Can you guys see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, like that.
I get a tiny bit on the mouth, but I don't want. I want to keep the chin a tiny bit. Right, I'm going to swap to a smaller brush actually. Again, I forgot to tell Emily I was using these brushes. Emily likes to know in advance what I'm going to use so that she can tell you guys where you can get it from. And I forgot to tell her I was going to use these brushes.
We have actually got them back in stock. They've literally been delivered this morning.
Oh, fantastic, yeah.
I've not got them on the website yet though.
Oh, they're not on the website yet?
No, because the package literally got delivered for the doors and we started filming.
That was a baby wipe, it's dried out. I thought it might have some water in it for me to wipe off underneath the chin where I've caught the powder. But do you know what? It's not going to matter because we're going to put a mane on, so you're not going to see that bit. I'm just going to lighten around the eye area a tiny bit. So where I kind of put my finger mark in, just so it's not all the same colour. Slightly pink, but that's okay. But let's actually.
You have to get some pink in there somewhere.
I'm gonna actually put pink on his cheeks, although I don't. Let me find a pink. Where's the pink? Let's use the claret one again because it's a nice deep pink. So a tiny bit on your brush, dab off all the extra, and then just apply to the cheeks. So it's best if you just don't have too much on your brush at first because you can always add more after if you want, okay? But if you put too much on, it's harder to kind of get rid of it. Yeah, he looks like he's wearing makeup so far, but that's okay. It's absolutely fine, is that? I'm going to darken up the nose just a little bit actually, and I'm going to use my brown pen. Let's get a smaller brush that I can use for water. I'm just going to move this powder just to one side for a second because I'm going to get it on everything. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I'm going to just put some brown. Wait, this is just an edible pen, by the way, brown. You can use black actually as well. I'm just drawing a little bit on the underneath. Can you see this from above, Richard? Or from the side?
So, yeah, we can see from the door.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and drag it out with a bit of water so that it blends gradually and looks darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. So let's just put this to one side. A little bit of water on my brush, not too much. And then I'm just going to try and drag. I don't know how well this shows up on camera actually for you guys.
I'm zooming in as much as I can before it starts getting blurry.
It's just so that the edge of the line from my pen isn't as obvious as it starts to blend in. Is it blending? Can you guys see it?
Yeah. You're moving a bit more towards the circle. That's it, yeah. Thank you.
Again, it's not necessary. You don't have to do this. I just thought it just gives us an extra little bit of detail by doing that. And maybe even a bit of white. Actually, I want to put a bit of white on so he's got a bit of shine on his nose, but I don't want to do that just yet because it's wet now, so I'll need to wait for that to dry before I can add any white on there. Okay, otherwise I'll just make a bit of a mess with that. So eyes. Did we say yellow? So the yellow ones are in the rainbow pot. The orange ones were in, I know I've not got many of these left, were in the Halloween set. You can just get black ones on the round bottle, so they sometimes come in the, well, they do come in the Halloween set as well, the black ones. And then the yellow ones were in my rainbow set. You could even have white ones actually. Should I do in white eyes? Or should I stick with yellow? Oh, decisions. What do you guys think? What does everyone think? I just can't decide. There's a long delay as well, isn't there, between when I ask people and when people reply straight away, but there's a long delay between when I actually see
I
it.
think we only got about a 20-second time lag today. Last night it was 35
Yeah, there was
seconds.
quite a big difference, wasn't there, last night? Which are people preferring, Richard? White or yellow?
I think the comments will be coming through. Well, that is if people are paying attention.
I think they're paying attention. They just might not care which colour I use. That might be all.
Yellow, white.
Ooh, which looks like it's more popular.
Look, I've got this new feature, although it doesn't really.
See if I can find 2 white ones there. So even though they're all 10mm pearls, sometimes some are slightly different size-wise to each other. They look similar. So let's go for white because do you know what? We've got yellow on there, so people can see what it looks like with yellow. And then if I do a white one, you can see what it looks like with white as well.
I'm just going to show you this. I've got this new. I didn't realise it could do this.
Are you just playing with features? Is it a voting feature, Richard?
Well, no, it's not. It's like a scoreboard, but it's actually quite good. But it doesn't work with if people could click vote buttons, it worked really well.
Okay, can I still stick my white eyes in?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a tiny bit of water down on each bit there. Just a tiny bit. Okay, and these are chocolate in the middle, these balls. And I'm probably not going to eat it with it being in my lion's face. Okay, so push them pretty firmly in there. Okay, so pretty firmly. You know, you can push the face down towards the eyes a bit more as well if you have any little gaps and things. See, can you see what a difference it does make though? Even just that like powder, I know I've made his face a bit thinner up here, but just spending the time putting powder on, it changes it quite a lot. And like I said, I didn't on these first ones because it was just something very quickly that I was trying to do. Okay, so I want my black edible pen. Here's my black edible pen. And I'm going to draw an oval with the pen in each eye. Okay, I'm going to draw it in as best as I can. If you prefer to just stick a small oval of black modelling paste in there, that's absolutely fine as well. I just like using my pens. Okay, so I've tried to draw a small oval, can you see, to one side of the black oval, and then we're colouring everything else in and leaving that white oval. Now let's see if we can get it in a similar place on this eye. Probably won't be able to because I never ever get things the same. Usually I end up making one bigger than the other and then I have to keep going, making each one bigger until they end up massive. Okay, we'll see what it looks like when I colour in. So again, we're going to need to leave that little oval in white and then we're going to colour the rest in. Have I got my head in shot again? I realise I lean over what I'm doing quite a lot. They're a little bit different size-wise, I think, to each other, aren't they? Does this one look wider than that one? I'm not sure.
Yeah, a little bit. But it also looks like it's not been stuck in as far.
Do you think my pearl?
Yeah.
If I look at it from the top, yeah, I think it's maybe not quite as far. I can't push it in further now because this is still wet. So when the black's dry, I'll be able to.
You could just cover it over and make it a scar.
Actually,
one-eyed tiger.
See, the black's on me. I could have a bit of a scar, couldn't he? Should I give him a scar?
That's a bit more.
Tempted to give him like. What do you reckon? A scar or no scar? I'm going to give him an eyebrow. No, I'm not. I'm going to wait and see if he needs eyebrows afterwards.
I'd give him eyebrows, some big bushy.
Should we give him a scar? Down his eye?
We'll see what they say.
Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to stick his head on his body while we're waiting to see if I'm giving him a scar or no scar. So I'm going to put a little bit of water on the top of the body. On here. And you just want to check that if you hold the head against there, that stick isn't going to come out the top of the head. If it is, we need to trim it down a little bit.
Going to bring the tiger in just a little bit towards the camera.
He's a lion.
Lion, sorry.
Okay, and then I'm going to push him on here, and you know, you can have him with his head straight up, or you might even want to cock his head to the side slightly. Just be careful that, because you've just made him, his head might be a little bit soft, so just be very careful when you're pressing it on.
So we have the tilted up away.
Yeah, a little bit tilted. Does he look alright like that? He's actually quite tall, isn't he, this lion?
Yes.
But that's okay. Okay, so I can't decide whether to put the mane on first or the ears.
Just bring him a little bit in towards the camera. That's it, that's perfect. Thank you.
I'm going to put a piece on the back, and then I'm going to put individual pieces on the front. He needs his tail still as well, actually. So,
I'm going to put it back to swap down.
In fact, you know, I'm going to put his ears on first. If I need to remove them to do more to him, then that's fine. I'll remove them. So what I'm going to do is just check if you put his head on tilted as well, that it's not pulling him to the side, because sometimes if it's because it's quite a big head, the weight can pull your figure over. So just be very mindful of that. Watch out for it. So I'm going to take a small ball. I was thinking I wouldn't need to weigh anything else, but let's weigh it just so you guys can see how much I'm going to put in the ears. Again, it's up to you whether you want bigger ears or smaller ears.
You want to put down at the moment. Just
1.3 grams. Okay, so we've got a little ball. What I'm going to do is press into the middle of it just with a balling tool so we get a dip in the middle. And you know what? I'm going to put some pink in there. Which brush did I have pink? There might be some pink still in my brush, you see. Oh, no, it's the brush is leaving a slight indentation in the middle. I'm going to cut it in half first and then I'll try putting pink in. So let's cut it in half. I'm just trying to get... does it show the pink or does it not really show for you guys?
You can see it. You change the colour.
Actually, I've got some pink on my kitchen roll over there, so let's put a bit more on. Oh, my brush. So going in that dip in the middle. Okay. One ear is a bit bigger than the other. Hopefully it won't matter when his mane's on. We're not going to be able to tell too much. So, where's my water brush? Let's put a little bit of water on the bottom edge of each of these. And then we're going to stick them on his head. So don't stick them
in a little bit towards the camera.
Don't stick them right on the top. Okay, it looks very different depending on where you put the ears. And you don't want them at the sides either. I think this kind of look quite cute there. Go kind of an in-between.
That reminds me more like Baby Simba.
Yeah, it does look more like Baby Simba, doesn't it, when it's lower down?
It looks quite like Baby Simba now already.
He's going to have a mane though, so he's not going to look as much like Baby Simba. Okay. Play around with where you want the ears to go, okay, but probably not right on the top of the head.
It's crazy how putting some ears on makes it look totally different.
It does, it completely changes it. See, he's not looking too bad. He's fairly cute, I think. Okay, so the mane. This is where I still want to be able to see his ears, but I want quite a bit of mane. So, I think I might put it on in actual pieces rather than one big piece. It depends, I guess, whether you push for time or not really with this. But I am going to, and this is where I guess it's difficult because sometimes I have to face him a bit more towards me to see him. And then I'm not sure how well you guys can see him. Can everyone
It's not too
still
bad
see him?
for it.
So if I roll like little teardrops, this is probably going to be quite big, so I'll weigh it, but don't worry about all these being the same size at all, because it's now a bit of kind of experimenting. That was 5 point something. Almost like, you know how I said the cat had a triangle chest piece, it's almost like that again. So I'm kind of flattening it, pulling it out, and it's going to attach under here, and it is going to be part of the mane, okay? So I'm going to put some lines in. Can you see that from where?
Yeah, you're on top now at the moment.
Okay. If you want to press hard and cut right through, then you can do as well, that's fine. So, you know, if I did that, it kind of separates out. Or you can actually use your knife as well for that. Okay, and I can always put more lines in when it's stuck in place as well. Let's stick this under here. Oh, look, I've got a little bit of a gap there where I haven't pressed his head on quite hard enough. In fact, it's not going to cover, but it's okay because it'll cover with this. So let's stick this on tight under here, like his little beard. Playing around with where you want these pieces to go. It's a fairly long mane, is that, isn't it? And I can layer it up as well, so you know if you want some more pieces that are a bit shorter, then you can do that as well. Let's go for a much smaller piece.
It's looking good.
It's just got a beard at the moment. So we're going to go much smaller, but the same kind of shape again. Some little lines in there. Oops, I've stuck it to my board.
That's what cornflower's for, Zoe.
I know. And let's stick this under here again. What are you laughing at, Richard?
Cute.
Sometimes I don't know if Richard's laughing at comments or if he's laughing at me.
No.
I can't decide which way it looked better folded over to.
Have a lot of people watching and made all the animals so far? Because if you have,
Some people have made full zoos.
It would be nice if you send us the pictures of all your animals you've made from all these video tutorials, and yeah, we'll get you shared on it. Well, it'd be quite nice to praise people's work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's
So
quite
they
a
have
few
them.
people have been,
Yeah.
and like especially like if you put it in your Instagram stories and tag me, then I see those a lot as well.
Yeah, we can get it shared.
Okay,
There's
so
quite a lot of animals now.
there is, yeah.
We've still not got a Tasmanian devil.
No, not just yet. We haven't. These pieces are going to be almost like teardrops-ish of carrot, but I flattened it. Got a little crease in there, but it doesn't matter. And I'm going to bring it from the ear up and round and down there. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe even bring it out a little bit further there. And I'm going to put some water on here. I was going to put the lines in first, but I think I'm going to put the lines on when it's stuck in place. So I'm going to stick it just here. And I'm going to bring it down here and round into there. So just be careful when you're pressing it on, because you need to put some pressure on, otherwise it won't stick. But if you put too much pressure on, you're going to put finger marks in the head, unless you've let that head set. And of course, I've done mine, can you see, in the same colour? Because I know that I'm planning on putting dust on this. But if you want to change the colour, you know, go for a different colour, that's absolutely fine. Okay, and I might even use my little craft knife to cut in at some parts.
Watch your fingers if you're doing this at home. That's our safety announcement for people. Because Zoe cuts against her fingers.
So it's up to you, you know, whether you want to kind of bring those bits that you're cutting downwards, or if you might even want to flick some upwards.
Yeah, I like the flicking up.
You like the flicking up. I wouldn't do it on every single piece, but it's...
I like it when it's a bit messier.
Yeah. But it's up to you guys, you know, with how you want to do it. Let's try and put one in here then. Oh, fly. We need to get rid of that fly.
I know, but it won't go into the fly trap.
Stick one out there.
Obviously an intelligent fly.
Okay, so we're going to try and do the same on the other side to make it match. He's starting to come together a bit more now, isn't he?
Yeah, looking good. Alright, Smith, so what's the matter? I forgot you'd even done Yoda and Chewbacca. That was...
Yeah. Feels like ages ago, doesn't it? Even though it wasn't at all.
How many Facebook Lives do you think we've done then since lockdown? We've been the 2 a week, haven't we? I know you've done extra ones for other channels as well.
Yeah, I've done them for Renshaws and for Paul Bradford and who else? And Kick International.
Yeah, so there's been
Yeah,
quite
so
a
we've
lot.
done a few. So same kind of thing again. This one's less pointy at the end, but it's okay. And maybe bring it down a bit more here. And don't worry if it comes higher than the
Bring
ear
it
as
a
well.
little bit closer towards the camera.
If
Thank
it's
you.
higher than the ear, that's
Cheers.
absolutely fine. And don't worry if it's not the exact same shape as this either. It doesn't matter too much with
Need to
this.
get it good now.
Okay, so let's push this on here. And if you guys give his head time to set on the body as well before you put the mane on, then it's going to be easier to push with a bit of pressure on there. Obviously, I can only press so hard at the moment. It's kind of, it looks like he's got a little heart shape on his head. Little heart-shaped mane.
Very good comment. We should make a frog next time because that might get the fly.
Yeah.
Or a spider.
Well, we've got spiders. We've got plenty of spiders knocking around.
Not doing their job then, are they?
I think his mane is much bigger on one side than the other. Let's see if we can colour him. So, you know, you can put loads of lines in or just a few. It really is up to you with what you like best with this.
There you go, a bit of a fact here. The younger the lion, the lighter the mane. The older it gets, the mane becomes darker and black. Thank you very much, Becca.
I didn't know that.
Right, see, we learn a lot on our Facebook Lives.
Don't we? Well, that reminds me, I need to book us in to go into the zoo. I think the zoo opens next week, does it? And I love going to the zoo. Let's give that one a bit of a wave. It's got like a wave on the end of that one. It's definitely bigger at this side than the other side, I think.
Do you know what's so far? I've had no comments regarding that famous lion person.
What famous lion person?
The one that we watched there. What's he? The one that was.
He's not a lion, he's a tiger. We did that the other week.
We had lions as well, did you not?
Yeah, he had some, but we already did Joey Essex tiger, didn't
It
we?
wasn't Joey Essex.
No, I don't mean Joey Essex. You know what I mean. I don't know why I called him Joey Essex.
That's what I was thinking, and I thought I can't say that because I know it's not that.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm trying to work out which direction now to put his little pieces of hair in.
I've just been asked what zoo do you go to? Which one?
Chester Zoo is the closest one to us, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Yorkshire Zoo as well.
It's Yorkshire Wildlife Park.
Oh, sorry, Yorkshire Wildlife Park. That's over in Doncaster. But I like Chester Zoo. Not that I don't like the other place, but I like Chester Zoo more. Does he need one flicking out here, maybe? Yeah, I was looking online. It said that they were opening soon, but the tickets weren't available to buy yet. And that's what I want to do with my day off, if I get a day off, is go to the zoo. Okay, so my plan was to add extra bits and pieces into the sides, but I'm not. He obviously needs some at the top still as well. Though I'm not sure I'm going to get much more space in here. Let's finish the top bit, and then my plan was also to fully cover the back, because at the moment he obviously looks like this at the back. But he's wanted to topple backwards a little bit, actually.
You've been going in about 45 minutes. You're not doing too bad.
No, he might be a little bit heavy at the back, so I might have to carefully lift him off. He just looks like he wants to tilt backwards slightly. Oh no, he's losing his mane when I do this.
Oh no, what are you doing?
I know, but he was toppling backwards, Richard. I had to amend him. Otherwise, yeah, he'd just fall backwards.
We've had a few comments regarding you should do a book, or you should have some carrots in a book. Zoe has been writing a book for a little while.
It was actually like all the projects. So it's a figure making book, and it's on like people. There's a couple of little animals in, but they're more like pets for the people. It was photographed over a year ago, and I'm just really slow at getting around to doing anything with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have got one ready for me to finish. Okay, I'm just going to go with kind of like semicircles now that we're going to put onto the top. I'm going to try putting some lines in it first, actually, on this one, see if it works that way.
Got your head a bit.
And you can even as well, you know, if there's a bit you don't want in, you can cut it out completely, like if you want a bigger bit removing. Can you see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I can stick this to the top of the head here. Again, I should really use a bit of water on that to make sure that that sticks on. He's got quite a bit of mane at the top now, hasn't he? He needs a bit more in here. And we can add individual pieces as well, so you know, if you want it coming down the front of his head a little bit, then that would be fine. I'm just going to try and put a little chunk in here.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and just...
So can you see they're just completely random shaped pieces that I'm just filling in with.
For a second while I try and adjust this camera a second.
Why are you trying what?
Just adjust this camera, so bear with me, you're on top down at the moment. Don't put it on.
Okay.
Well, you can do, so it should be on top down fine.
Okay, so I'm sticking this bit in here. Again, just watch how hard you're pressing on the head, because we don't want to damage the head itself. He's got massive pieces on the top of his head. Massive, massive pieces of hair. Yeah, so I want to watch out for when they release tickets for opening the zoo. Yeah, I think I'm going to put some more individual pieces kind of at the front, so we'll do like, let's put a little teardrop bit that's going to go in here.
Just tilt him a little bit towards you. That's it, yeah, that's perfect, thank you.
So a little teardrop, let's put some lines in it. Maybe even a little cut.
Lindsay's mentioned, are we going to name him? Are we going to name all our animals? All our animals have been named so far.
Richard
so,
likes to name them.
Yeah, if anybody wants to run through all the names. We've got quite well. Yeah, they've all been named, I think. So yeah, I'll let a few people comment and see if they can remember what we've made so far in our animals.
He looks like he's got a weird bit there.
This one is Leon the lion now.
Leon the lion.
Leon the lion.
So I'm going to try making these a bit smaller now as I kind of stick them in.
Trying to think if I can remember them without researching.
He's going to need some bits of hair that come in front of his ears actually as well.
Yeah. Can you remember the names of our animals?
Nope.
Sorry?
No. Because like I say to most of my students, I don't name them.
Okay. Right.
Richard likes them,
We've got Chris the Croc.
but I don't name them. It doesn't bother me about them having names.
Chris the Croc, Ella the elephant, Oscar the orangutan, Georgina the giraffe, Gary the gorilla, Zoe the zebra.
I don't remember naming it, Zoe.
Yeah.
Did I name that one?
Harry the hippo and Brutus the hippo.
It sounds like I might have named that one if I called it Zoe.
What did you call that flamingo? Was it Frankie the flamingo or Francesca the flamingo?
Don't know, I can't remember.
I should know
Cannot
this.
remember.
Rocco the red panda.
Are you just asking people names because I've gone quiet while I'm concentrating?
Not at all.
So I'm just pushing individual pieces of hair in. And do you know what? If I made this again, it would look different every time because I'd end up putting the pieces of hair in different places each and every time.
That is looking cool now.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not quite as cub-like anymore.
Now he's got his extra pieces of hair. No, just go on there.
Oh yeah, it might be a Florence the flamingo actually.
I can't remember. I can't remember at all. So I'm just going, can you see smaller little teardrop pieces that we're going to try and stick on. And some of them can flop downwards, they don't all have to go upwards. He's got little gaps there in his hair. I think he needs another bit at the front, but maybe a bit smaller.
Just to recap, the model paste that Zoe is using to make Leon the lion is Saracino.
Yeah, and I used a mix of brown, yellow, and what they call the pale skin tone one. What are you laughing at now, Richard?
Deirdre the devil. We'll get there with the Tasmanian devil.
Is that what we're calling it, Deirdre?
Deirdre, yeah. Deirdre the devil.
That's not what Richard refers to you as, Deirdre, by the way. You just said Deirdre the devil.
That's what she's called herself.
Oh, right. I thought, poor Deirdre, I don't think that's what you refer to her
You
as.
can chuck in Deirdre the devil and see if Zoe notices. I wasn't calling Deirdre a devil. I'm not that harsh. Well, not on camera anyway.
Okay, so he's got quite a lot of hair going on here, hasn't he? This is where I could just keep going all day and you guys would be like, Zoe, just game finished now. And I wanted to add colour as well into his mane, so I did it the same colour because I was planning on just dusting, so that instead of it being one block colour, it'd be kind of similar colour to this on the outside, and then it's going to be darker near the edges. He's going to need some hair in front of his ears as well. So.
That's a good point. We haven't actually named the tigers, but the tigers were actually made before we started doing all the animals. They were made as part of when we did...
Well, technically they're still part of...
Well, yeah, but they were made when we did the like the exotic, Joey Exotic bit, didn't we? A few months ago. Mm-hmm. So that was before we started doing all the creatures. But yeah, they can be added to the group. So if you want to suggest a name for the tigers, it has to begin with a T though. Oh, Tony the Tiger from Frosties. There you go.
Okay, Richard. The original. So smaller pieces now. I'm just putting them just in front of the ear.
Well, I don't think Tony the Tiger was called Tony the Tiger in all countries. I think it's actually got a different name. That's if you get Frosties wherever you are from. I'm sure it has got different names in different countries.
I don't know.
It's a random... I'm probably just talking.
Are you making up facts, Richard?
I don't know. I'm sure I heard that somewhere.
He's got a ridiculous amount of hair. He maybe looked nicer before I added all this hair.
He has got a lot of hair.
Has he got too much hair? It's more that I've given him wavy hair. I think that looks funny.
I don't know if you need to keep adding more.
I'm not adding more.
Okay.
I'm just playing around with where the pieces sit. Okay.
We've got Toby, Trevor, Tilly, Tristan, Terence, and Thomasina. I can't. Thomasina.
Okay, so what I would do is probably just go with like one big bulk on the back. But I don't want to add it too thick because I don't want too much weight bearing down. Because obviously his body hasn't had very long to dry and I'm adding quite a lot of weight to him. And that will cause him to collapse if I keep adding too much weight. So, also I don't want to use all my paste on the mane and find I've got nothing left for his tail. Although I'm not going to need very much for the tail.
Concentrating.
So I'm going to put water on the back of the head. And I'm going to take a ball and squash it. It's probably not quite big enough, but it's fine. We can do it in a couple of little pieces actually, it'll be fine. I've got about 24 grams. You can use your rolling pin if you prefer as well, that's fine. I'm just using my hands because it's nice and easy. Okay, and I'm going to put it on here, on the back. Pardon? But I'm going to put some hairlines in, kind of on the edges, or towards the edges. So we get a bit of texture. And then I could do with actually of softening this up a little bit because I think if I softened it, it would be easier to press it on without it falling off. Because I don't want to press too hard on the front of his face. A bit of pressure on there. And then what we'll do is we'll do the same again on another layer. But we'll try and keep it a bit smaller.
I nearly read a comment out loud wrong then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Michelle put, he looks perfect, Zoe. Looks like a great... He looks perfect. Well, no, she wrote, he looks perfect, Zoe. He looks like a great lion. I was going to read it, he looks perfect. Zoe looks like a lion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually my hair does look like a lion at the front when it fizzes out everywhere. I used to get told that a lot, actually. That my hair looked like a lion.
Did you?
Yeah, an awful lot. I was so thankful when hair straighteners became a thing. Because when I was little, you didn't really get hair straighteners. Yeah, they improved my life a lot, did hair straighteners. So let's put some more water on. Let's try and do the same kind of thing again. So lines kind of coming downwards. Can you see where I've got this, Richard?
Yeah, you're on top down.
And then this time we want them kind of coming from the top down as well. Hopefully this will fit in. I hope. And ideally, I should have really put some extra bits just in there.
Quite a good few names suggested for the tiger name. I quite like Pam's Taran, which is Welsh for thunder.
Cool.
Taran the tiger. That sounds quite cool to me.
It does. Yeah, maybe just another piece in here. Then I think I'm going to leave his mane as it is. Does it look alright in the back? Not too bad.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Probably won't dust every bit of his mane. I know that I should do, but just because I'm spending such a long time doing this one, that I probably
So
won't
Zoe,
end up
do
dusting
you
it.
naturally have curly hair?
No, my hair is straight. Apart from the frizzy, horrible bits at the front, which curl out everywhere. Just like, you know, like new bits of, what do you call it, baby hair? Those bits that stick out
Your
the
kiss
front.
curls? No.
Is that not the one in the middle of your head? Mine will stick out from the sides of my head like little devil horns. They curl, but nothing else does. When my hair's down, it's straight. It's straight but very thick and frizzy. Is my hair. Like really thick and frizzy. I'm going to straighten up this one. I don't like it too curly on him.
That's look good.
Okay, so let's give him... His face looks too young now, doesn't it, for his hair? Does he need a scar? Did people say he needed a scar or not?
I think from what I can remember seeing back up in the comments, I think it was a no.
Oh, okay.
But you're in charge, so if you want to put a scar
I'm
on
wondering
it,
whether he should have eyebrows or not. He reminds me of a Care Bear, I don't know why.
You've been on an hour now for your time check.
You know the lion that was in the Care Bear?
No, because I didn't used to watch Care Bears.
Oh, it reminds me of that. Does he need eyebrows or not need eyebrows? What do you think?
It doesn't look bad with it.
I don't know, I can't decide. He's not having eyebrows for now.
He's not having
I feel
eyebrows.
like I've missed something really important off him. Oh, tail. And then we need to do some dusting. But I still feel like I've missed something off him. But I don't know what. Has anybody noticed if there's a vital body part missing?
His teeth.
No, he's got a closed mouth, Richard. We've had this discussion before.
Okay. Yeah, I think the consensus is no scar.
Okay.
And we've got the name of the Care Bear was Lionheart.
Lionheart, that was it.
See, when you used to watch Care Bears, I think I used to watch Thundercats.
Well, I watched Thundercats as
And
well.
was it Lion-O and Thundercats?
Thundercats were after Care Bears. I was much younger when I used to watch Care Bears than when I used to watch Thundercats.
Right.
So it's a little teardrop, and we're going to put some lines on it. So it's the fluffy end of the tail.
I'm sure they were supposed to be making Thundercats for the film, but I can't remember
I don't know.
where they got with that.
I think it was a spoof thing, Richard, that you
Was
probably
it?
watched. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, because the advert you watched had Brad Pitt dressed up as.
It was
Lionheart.
Matthew. It was Matthew McConaughey.
No, it wasn't.
It was, I'm sure it was.
Okay, I'm going to pin this piece to the back. Like that. And then let's put the end of the tail on that. It's safer if it's. Or it's going to be sturdier, you see, if it's attached to the body. I'm going to put it here.
Whiskers
What's this for?
for your tiger. Your lion.
Oh, yeah, he's not getting whiskers though. You can, but you have to start messing around with things that aren't edible to get them thin enough for them to look okay. So I usually will miss off the whiskers. Unless he was going to be much bigger. But yeah, he probably would look alright with some whiskers, but he's not going to get them. Okay, so dusting. So normally I'd wait now a little bit for him to dry. And we can either dust or, in fact, you could even do, you know, like what I did with the nose, where I added a bit of colour. Can you see this on the camera, Richard?
Not really hands. Both shots, your hands a little bit in the way.
So if I kind of, you know, draw
Alright, yeah. If you bring the lion in a little bit closer to the camera, and I'll zoom
my
in.
pen
Yeah.
along. So you could do this with powder, or you could do it with this, with the edible pen. So I'm going near the bottoms. Can you see? It's much better if they're firmed up, because when I'm doing this, they're moving around quite a bit. Trying to go near the bottom of each piece of hair. And I'm not worried about being particularly neat at the moment. It's more just so that I can show you guys what it's going to look like. And then what I'm going to do is, like we did with the nose, I'm going to take some water on my brush and then just bring it up a little bit to dilute it as it's coming up.
A few people said they think you need something in the place for the eyebrows. They have a puffy thing there.
Yeah, I was thinking like his face looks too plain there, doesn't it? Like it's missing something. That's why I was thinking eyebrows would kind of work well. Can you guys see this kind of spreading out a little bit? So it's still a tiny bit darker at the bottom of each piece of hair. And then it gets paler as I come up with this. Maybe it's too curly his hair. Maybe I should put it this way. You can play around with this hair for ages, to be fair. So keeping going at the base. Try and just do this on pieces that are dry. Like you don't want to be using the pen on pieces that are already wet, because it stops the pen working properly if it gets really wet. Oh no, that's his ear. I've just paint coloured in his blooming ear. Didn't even notice I'd done that. Get so carried away. See if I can rub that off, otherwise it's just going to look the same as his hair. I don't want it to look the same as his hair. Okay, that's better. I'm just so carried away with doing that quickly that I coloured in his ear. And you could, if you don't want to use water, you can use clear alcohol or dipping solution for this as well. Okay, so let's try and avoid his actual ear and get the hair in front of the ear this time.
Yeah, it does look like he's missing a little bit, but
Yeah.
well, a lot of the lines of like the hair kind of comes in a big triangle, doesn't it?
I don't know. I can't see a picture of one now. I find it hard when I'm not looking. I know that obviously they have a mane, but I'm not fully aware of what it looks like. Well, that's what this bit comes down a bit on mine.
Yeah. No, but they've all got quite deep eyes, like a bit of blackness around their eyes, haven't they?
Around what?
Their eyes are all quite dark.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously this is if you're making a real lion.
Yeah, I mean it's cartoony, isn't it? So it doesn't have to be realistic, this one, but... So can you see, just adding the brown up near the top of each bit on there. And then a bit of water in your brush. And just kind of pulling it down a little bit. I mean, if you don't want to dilute it, you want to leave it with the lines, you can. Or like I say, use a powder if you prefer. I just thought, oh, try this for something different. And I like using the pens, like I say, so... So hopefully you can see it starting to make a difference now. I'm getting a bit further round with it. Does it look better now? It's getting a bit darker in colour, the mane, do we think?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll do a little bit at a time and then I keep going back to wet it. Has anybody tried this with the pens where they've diluted them and dragged the colour out? To watch out for that ear. I don't want to colour his ear in again, like I did with that other one. But because it's only just made, it's very soft, so my hair's moving a lot when I'm trying to draw on it. If I'd given it time to firm up, this bit would be so much easier for me to do. Just trying to get the colour in more at the base of each bit of hair, you see. Let's see if I can get it in here. I don't know if you guys will even be able to see what I'm doing in this bit here.
You can just about.
Just about. Okay. And obviously I'd have to do the same at the back as well. It's a bit wet here, so it might... Oh, it is working. We're good. Yeah, remember, like I say, if the pen gets too wet, it'll stop it working, so try not to get the pen with too much water on. Okay, so again, a bit of water on my brush, and then we're going to drag this down and out. You'll be able to tell if I put more pen in one place than another because his mane's going to look a bit darker. Which do people prefer, with the pen or like if I would have dusted? I guess it's difficult for you to tell because I haven't actually dusted this one. But I know normally I do dusting, don't I? I'd got some of the squirrel brown out to do the dusting and then I thought, no, I'm going to use my pen.
I've just managed to import something. So if for anybody that's looking at other, like say, any lion cake tutorials, there's an image going to pop up now with a few that Zoe has done on, or we've done on our YouTube channel.
I did Rara the lion as well, actually.
Yeah, so on the left of your screen there, you've got Simba in the cartoon, Simba from the real life film, and then just a cutie style lion
Is
cake
Rara
as
the
well.
Lion still a popular cartoon? It was quite a long
I
time
forgot
ago.
you've done
wasn't it?
Rara the Lion
Yeah,
as well.
I did Rara the Lion.
But yeah, so there's a thumbnail to your left.
It was. I mean, it's a long time ago that I did Rara the Lion, though. Like a really long time ago. Oops, I'm going on his ear again. Keep that ear clean. I think I've got slightly darker at one side than the other, haven't I? But it should be okay. I feel like his eyebrows need to be a similar colour to the mane. Yeah, it's a bit wet for me to add more colour on that side. But you guys get the gist, I think. Let's see. I don't think I've got maybe I'll try mixing a bit of brown powder in with that. I do have brown modelling paste, it's a bit out of my reach, it's just to one side. So let's see if I can just... I'm gonna get mucky fingers from this as well. Oh, I should have added the colour on the end of his tail actually as well. And I know I haven't put it on the back of his head, but it would continue doing on the back of the head. The only reason I haven't is just because it's going to be a bit boring for you guys to watch.
You say that, but I'm sure people don't mind. But we've still got quite a lot of picking and packing to do.
Well, I was thinking more, I've got my interview with the Sugar Junkies.
Ah, yeah.
So there's a podcast called The Sugar Junkies. I did get the name of it right, didn't I? Sam, hopefully Sam's watching, that does it, Sam and Erica, and they interviewed me for one of the future ones. but the internet wasn't very good, so it didn't work very well. So today I have got my interview
That wasn't our
questions
internet this
from
time, was it?
I don't know. I think it was Sam's internet. But yeah, that's it's worth having a listen to. Actually, it's their podcast. I do like it. I think she did a feature on our face molds as well, and one of them.
Yes. We do have some new ones coming some point soon.
Face molds.
Yes.
Yeah. We've said that for ages though, we haven't turned up.
I'll show you some today.
Okay, I think this looks a bit darker now. I've added a bit of powder to it. Okay. Let's get him some eyebrows on. So what I'm going to do...
You need to make a roar now like a lion though.
No.
Should get some sound effects and put it into this.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm rolling a piece that's got thin end, each end, and it's probably going to be bigger than I need, but we can cut it down after. Can you see the face there, Richard?
Yeah.
I'm going to put a little bit of water up along the top edge up here. And let's see, I'm going to start by, I'm going to have to move him towards me a bit, otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Add in the point down at one side, and we'll bring it around and across here. And I'm just going to cut it so it's a bit shorter, so it ends just there. He's got really big eyebrows. It's not very like lion-like, is it? I've actually just gone for human eyebrows on this lion. Isn't it funny? Sometimes some bits I just can't work out like what's going to look best.
Yeah, but it's all trial and error. And this is the first time you've made the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to bring it down so it comes down a bit more there.
Could add a few dots where the whiskers would go. So that's not a bad idea. You might have said that already, don't you? Sorry. See if we've got any questions that I'm not. Well, there's probably lots of questions that I've not answered.
Oh no, I don't like those eyebrows. I don't know why I can't fathom out what's wrong with him.
I think he looks better with the eyebrows than without now, but.
Yeah, I'm just changing up his eyebrows. I'm going to go
Right, okay.
a bit different. Just making them less shapely.
Daniela said that she wished you were close to the Caribbean to teach. I wish that we were close to the Caribbean as well, because it'd be a bit warmer.
Yeah, it's pretty miserable weather here.
It is not nice. We had a good couple of weeks, and
But
it's
we've
just.
got a few online ones now, though, haven't we? We do have a few different online ones to help
Oh,
people
maybe
now.
more than. Yeah, we do.
He just looks too fresh-faced, I think. Do you think he looks a bit too fresh-faced? Maybe his mane doesn't come far enough.
He just looks like a youthful lion.
A very youthful lion. I feel like he needs like a bit of black just around his eyes. 1 second, I'm going to get some black. That is within my reach. Pardon? So I only need a tiny bit. Maybe I should go darker with the eyebrows as well. So I should have really done this first.
Right, you're on top down. Are you rolling out?
You are.
You're rolling out.
I'm going to roll 2 tiny pieces that are going to go around his eyes. So like this. And then I want to try and get another one the same. It might not end up the same.
Time for a second. I'm just going to try.
Pardon?
Push this a bit.
That one's a bit longer than that one, so let's make it a bit shorter. Let's go again. The black ends up all over me. Let's see. Closer to each other size-wise, I think, so that's fine. So I'm going to try and put... You want, Richard?
Let's bring it back. That's better.
Just putting a little bit of water on the outside edge of the eye, just being careful not to catch the black that we drew in there earlier. And then I'm going to try and catch this on the edge, kind of about there. And then I'm going to try, and carefully, if I can, nudge this so it goes around the outside of the eye. Does that make a difference? Does that look better?
Yeah, that's a little, yeah, definitely.
So let's see if we can do the same on this.
So what the little thing is?
He just needed something to frame his eyes, I think. Go on there. If I can push it in place.
You can tell when you are concentrating because you go so quiet.
Yeah, no, that's what happens. I have to concentrate. I'm not somebody that can work and talk really at the same time. That's why it's sometimes, like, it's nice when I do the Facebook Lives because I get to play around with stuff, but it also means I don't always get as good a result as what I would if I was sat concentrating like normally myself, because when I'm not talking I concentrate and things just turn out a bit better. When I'm chatting away, I can't give it like my full attention when I'm working, and things don't ever quite look as good as they might normally. Also, I can't lean over it. Like normally when I work with my head like this right against something.
I'm trying to wait to see that on camera.
And obviously I can't do that when I'm on this. I'm just seeing if darker eyebrows might suit better. He's gonna have some right marks across his face. A scar would make him look less fresh faced, I think.
You really want that scar, don't you?
No, it's fine. He doesn't have to have a scar. Does that eyebrow look better? Or not?
Yeah. Just hold your hand over one side. Do you go darker? Or like, I'd probably go darker just because it stands out a bit more, but I don't. I have one of each, be different.
Yes, we want 2 different coloured eyebrows. This one doesn't want to come off very well, so. What are you laughing at now, Richard? Okay. He just looks weird with eyebrows, but then he looks weird without. I can't work it out on this one. It's not happening for me, is it, today?
Yeah, it looks good. It's just.
I think it's just that he's got a cute face, but then with his mane, it doesn't match.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if you take the mane away, it does look like baby Simba.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it's like his mane's made him age, but his face is not aged, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put some black. Just
no pink yet.
He's got pink.
Yeah.
He's already got pink on him. Just going to put a tiny bit under here. Maybe even around here a tiny bit. See if it enhances the bit of the mouth a bit more. Even maybe a tiny bit under the nose. Here. Does it make him look any different?
Now if you put him down on the table.
Not really.
Not really.
I think once this is dried, what I'm going to do is go darker at the very edges of the mane, so the bits that's right against his face. That's what I think it needs.
Still looks good.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. In fact, you could even go a bit darker. Mix brown and black together actually for these bits to just shade. Oops, he's a bit soft as well still. I know it doesn't help that I'm dropping him in between the legs. Kind of edges of the legs here. And even a little bit between the toes.
A bit of whiteness on the nose, possibly to lighten it.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was going to give him a highlight of white.
So I just need to see. Thank you very much, Michelle, for reminding us.
Yeah, see, I forget everything, don't we? I have a very, very short memory. Yeah, so really, I mean, I could spend ages sort of adding quite a bit of shade into that, which I think would improve him, but I don't want to spend too long. Okay, shall I use the pen or shall I use... It might be dry enough to add some pen. Does it show up? Can you guys see that? Just a small
Starting to go on, yeah.
white line kind of across the top, just there. Yeah, I might have another look at him in a bit and see if we need to change anything. I think, because his mane looks quite red, doesn't it, now, even though it's brown, like, don't you think it looks a reddy brown? So I think I'm, like, tone it down with a bit of black once it's started to dry, but it's still a tiny bit tacky, so I don't want to add any kind of powder in there at the moment just yet. But yeah, there he is. See, it looks very different to that one, doesn't it? That I made earlier. But it's still the same way. We just added extra bits to it. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So I think I'm done for today. Like I say, when it's
Right,
dried
come back onto this screen
and had a
so
bit
it's onto you
longer
now.
to set, I can add the colour to the back and the tail as well. But yeah.
You ready?
And it was similar to
Onto
the way we
you.
did the cat and the tiger as well. So you kind of repeating the same thing. So you see that you might watch a tutorial for one animal, but you can probably change it into many different animals. They're quite useful for different things. A bit like the crocodile one we did. A lot of people made dragons and stuff from it as well, and they all look really good. But yeah, tag me in your pictures if you're making them. It'd be nice to see what you guys have made. And thank you ever so much for the stars again.
If you want to point to your right hand side now, because these are your other face, just to remind people these are other tutorials.
You know that's my right hand side.
Yeah, that's fine. You can point now.
Oh, okay.
That's good. Because
Why
I've
have you
got
put something on
pictures. I've got
screen?
pictures of your cake videos. You can't
Ah.
see what you're doing.
No, I can't. I thought he wanted me to point the other
So
direction.
at the bottom there, you've got the cute lion. If you go a little bit higher up, you got Simba as an adult, and then if you go to the very top, you got Simba cartoon, old one. There you go. Getting good with that, Zoe.